How old were you when you started to learn coding, and what was your first program did you learn?
So I think I started coding when I was 9 years old, so 5 years ago now. And the first thing I did was Scratch. I started with Scratch in 2019. And yeah.
That's so cool. And how many languages you have learned so far?
So far, I think I've learned, well, Scratch, if that counts as one. Java I used to do. Python I still do now. Unity I do now. Tiny bits of HTML. And yes, that's five. You could say one for each year.
Awesome. That's so cool. So what's your next step in learning? What's going to be your next stage in coding?
So my next steps in coding, I'd like to either go into virtual reality with Unity, or I'd like to try out maybe Unreal Engine, or go more with
Right.
like into depth with HTML. But any of those I'm interested into going into. But anything new will interest me.
Great. And what about Python? So you're doing competitions. What's next for Python?
So for Python, we're planning to do a like professional proper Python certification test,
Yeah.
which is very nerve-wracking, but I think with enough time and enough preparation, we'll
Right.
manage it.
And two more questions left. So it's going to be, how are you going to apply this in your future? All the skills you've learned so far.
So I can apply all of this programming knowledge in the future. For example, if I really want to get a job in the IT industry somewhere, obviously I can always use that to my advantage. Or even obviously in the future, programming is a growing market. So
Right.
obviously there'll be more needs for programming skills in like business industries, and I think that'll come useful. Or even if I want to start my own business, then I could use that information to, I don't know, market or develop something, stuff like that.
Awesome. And the final one. Do you think coding is challenging or is it fun?
I think I think it's a solid mix of both. It's like
Cool.
50-50 mixed together because obviously it's fun. You get to try out new things. You always have some puzzles to solve, and then when you finally complete that one project, it feels so satisfying.
Right.
However, there's always challenges when actually developing the project because there's always some error which you have no clue where it came from, or obviously you might have done something and then that creates more problems. But that's just sort of the fun of it as well, because when you get to solve it, then you feel satisfied.
Agreed. Okay. Thank you, Mathis, for all that cool answers out there. All right. Thank you. And I think that's
Thank
that's pretty much it. Great. Do you want to add anything else to the ending or we good?
Nah, I'm all right.
Okay, we are good with that. Great.